कैमरा किस तरह कर देगा?
कैमरा है बंदा ना
नहीं गड्डी के
नहीं नहीं
गड्डी होनी चाहिए थोड़ी जी
काम कुछ नहीं होनी है उसको तो गुस्सा कर दिया जो बंदे को तमाम फैसिलिटीज की दे रहे मेरी नहीं तो फिर लिख ला के लिख ला के माल की गल यार गुस्सा बहुत आ रहा है नहीं मैं तो ठीक करांगा लैके लिख लैके
हर बंदे का जगह जगह फोन भी करता पे ना वो भी कुछ नहीं
समझ नहीं आ रही वो इंटरव्यू हर साल अच्छी चल रही उन्हें इसी बात तो कराएंगे तो सारा शूट करके आए मार कर एक तो शूट करके सारा
काला करना पे काला करना
यार नहीं कॉल आई हूँ कॉल आई मैं देखे जब मैं अगर मैं पहले नमाज में जगह में नहीं मिली इंटरव्यू लोग करते हैं मैं इंटरव्यू तो बाद में कर लगा नादे अली करते हैं इंटरव्यू करना पड़ता है आ जाओ सीधी देखो ना सीधी हेलो इधर ले आओ बच्चों ले आओ अच्छे करिए ना उन्हें बाद यार इंटरव्यू होंगे पे तुम चंगे बंदे यार हाँ सामने आओ इधर आओ उधर उधर से आओ उधर से आओ चलो go like in the back record it
तुम अपने बच्चों को यूं वफा बना देना तुम अपने बच्चों को यूं वफा बना देना तुम अपने बच्चों को यूं वफा बना देना हमेशा परचमे अब्बास की हवा देना हमेशा परचमे अब्बास की हवा देना जो चाहते हो कि बच्चे वो साहिबे करदार जो चाहते हो कि बच्चे वो साहिबे करदार तो लोरियों में ही तालीमें करबला देना तुम अपने बच्चों को यूं वफा बना देना
And humanity for all. The man who didn't look at people's race or color or ethnicity or which religion they belonged to or what viewpoint they had. He looked at their hearts and he accepted them in his forces, in his army, in his service based off of what was in his heart. He didn't care for whether there were thousands or millions of people against him as long as he was standing for truth. Abdullah al-Hussein gave everything for the service of humanity. And we are here to commemorate his mawlid. Abdullah al-Hussein does not consider just whether the person says he is Muslim or Christian or Jewish or Sabian or Iranian or Arab or Pakistani or American or European. Everybody who has a pure heart, everybody who has sincerity and follows what's called Deen al-Fitra, innate recognition of God that everybody has in their heart, is welcome in the forces, in the service of Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah was that man who gave everything for the service of truth and justice. The whole Muslim world was against him, yet he had one goal, he had one mission, and that was to establish the idea of prayer and service to God, true service to God, not lip service, not a prayer that's lip service, but a prayer that is implemented in every aspect of our life, in every aspect of society. Imam Hussein rose because he wanted to give everything up for the divine cause. When he left his hometown of Medina, it said that he went to the Prophet's grave, Prophet Muhammad's grave. He did not want to leave Medina because his grandfather was buried there, the Prophet of Islam. His mother, Fatima was buried there. His brother was buried there. His whole life was spent in service of the people of Medina. His whole life was spent in Medina. Yet he goes to the Prophet's grave. He cries and cries and cries until he goes to sleep on the Prophet's grave. When he goes to sleep, he sees the Prophet in his dream. The Prophet says, "Oh Hussein, Allah has reserved a place for you in paradise, but you cannot achieve that position and place in paradise without your sacrifice, without your martyrdom." Abdullah Hussein leaves and he sacrifices everything for the human good. He didn't want to gather up an army. He wanted to make a humane stance. Every human being would understand. If he wanted to raise an army and fight physically, he would never have brought his women and children. If he brought his women and children to show the world that those who were opposing him, those who stood for tyranny and injustice, those who stood against the freedom of religion and liberty, were the ones who were desecrating the message of God on this earth. And he wanted to make a public statement that the true message of God cannot be forced. It has to be inculcated with the ideas of love and humanity and justice. صدق الله العلي العظيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.
नाज़रीन, मैं हूँ राशिद ज़ैदी और इस वक्त मैं आशुरा मुहर्रम के प्रोसेशन से आपके सामने मौजूद हूँ, जो कि इख्तिताम पज़ीर हुआ है अभी पाकिस्तानी एम्बेसी पर। ये जुलूस 51st स्ट्रीट पार्क एवेन्यू से शुरू हुआ था और आज की अटेंडेंस के मुताबिक जो NYPD ने 22,000 लोग जो हैं इसमें मौजूद थे लोग। और आप जैसे देख रहे हैं यहाँ डिफरेंट कौमियत के लोग मौजूद हैं जो मुख्तलिफ ज़बानें बोल रहे हैं और मुख्तलिफ ज़बानों में इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम को खराज अक़ीदत पेश कर रहे हैं और जदीदी क़ुव्वतों के ऊपर एक तमाशा मार रहे हैं मातम के सिलसिले में। जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ अफ़गानी से लेकर ईरानी, ईरानी से लेकर इराक़ी, अरबी, फ़लस्तीनी, पाकिस्तानी, इंडियन और बांग्लादेशी मुसलमान मौजूद हैं। इस जुलूस के मुनासिबत से मैं ये सिर्फ यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये 34वां साल है इस जुलूस का माशाल्लाह, और ये 34वें साल में इसकी आबोताब में मुसलसल इजाफा होता जा रहा है। और इस सिलसिले में पाकिस्तानी एम्बेसी के हम तहे दिल से इसलिए भी मशहूर हैं कि पहले दिन से लेकर आज तक पाकिस्तान की इस एम्बेसी ने हमारे साथ तामुन किया है। चूँकि मुहर्रम की मुनासिबत से है तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आपके नाज़रीन के लिए मैं एक मुख्तसर सा नुमा पेश करूँ सैयद सज्जाद के बारे में।
कुछ ऐसा बढ़ा, दर्द पे गम रोने लगा, जब भी सज्जाद लिखा मेरा कलम रोने लगा। दर्द कुछ ऐसा बढ़ा, दर्द पे गम रोने लगा, जब भी सज्जाद लिखा मेरा करके किरतास पे मैं शाम रकम रोने लगा, जब भी सज्जाद लिखा मेरा कलम रोने लगा। राहे पुरखार में आबिद पे सितमगारों ने इस कदर ढाए सितम, खुद भी सितम रोने लगा, जब भी सज्जाद लिखा मेरा कलम रोने लगा। बेड़ियाँ खार ज़दा पाऊँ मुसाफत ऐसी, एक एक गाम पे हर नक्श कदम रोने लगा, जब भी सज्जाद लिखा मेरा कलम रोने लगा। बेरिता फिरते अली जब चली बाजारों में, नोके नेज़ा पे सरे शाहे उमम रोने लगा, जब भी सज्जाद
मेरा कलम रोने लगा। गम में सजाद के फट जाता मेरा सीना नदी, पढ़ के मैं नादे अली सीने पे दम रोने लगा। जब सजाद लिखा मेरा कलम रोने लगा।
लाइव इंटरव्यू करते हैं, ये अपना तार भी कराएंगे और अपना फ़ोन नंबर कराएंगे। किसी ने अगर आज़ादारी पे जो चैनल के दोस्त पे और या शोए पे जाना हो तो इनसे
Assalamualaikum everybody, my name is Ali and I am the president of Kawish Travels. We are a Ziyarah company and we do a non-profit Ziyarah to Iraq, and inshallah we have a program coming up for Arba'in. If you would like more information, please visit our website at kawishtravels.com and you will find all our packages. Again, we're a non-profit organization. Our goal is to bring as many Zuhars as possible to Abu Abdullah, and visit our website, look up all our programs, you'll find more and more information. This year we have two planned Ziyaras. One is for Arba'in, and the second one is for December. And the other one is less expensive. It's during the time when kids and everyone is off school. This is the perfect time for everyone to, whoever has a job,
Bismillah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What an honor it is for us to be all here together for the love of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. I would like to welcome you all to the 32nd annual Muharram procession. I would like to also extend my deepest condolences to each one of you for these days of Azab for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. What a better way to start our gathering with blessed words from the Holy Quran. I would like to welcome Hussein Arif to the podium so that he can recite some verses from the Holy Quran. Please.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف ذلك الكتاب لا الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون صدق الله العلي العظيم صلاة
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you, Brother Husseini, for these beautiful verses from the Holy Quran. Indeed, one of the verses he picked was الذين إذا أصابهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. And surely there is no bigger musibah than the musibah that transpired on the day of Ashura on the land of Karbala. memory has surpassed all times and generations. No tyrant, no oppressor, no unjust ruler through history has ever been able to stop the masses from making their commitment and displaying their love and loyalty to their master Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. If you look around you today, you will see hundreds of people gathered here from different places and from different backgrounds. Subhanallah. This speaks for the love that they have for their master. What is it that brings us all together on this day? What is it that drives us and pushes us all together to stand on our feet for hours in the middle of New York City? It is the love and respect for Hussein and the family of the Holy Prophet. The love for Hussein, who serves as a magnet that pulls us all together. A uniting force towards a message of peace and harmony and love. Dear brothers and sisters, today Imam Hussein is considered a superpower who has inspired millions for generations to come. Sayyid al-Shuhada has taught us how to die and how to live forever. He taught us the true meaning of Amr bil-Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, and the true meaning of akhlaq. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam made it very clear in his letter to Muhammad al-Hanafiyya when he said, I did not revolt for the cause of evil tyranny or corruption, but to reform my grandfather Prophet Muhammad's nation. I want to enjoin the good and denounce the evil and take the course of my father and grandfather. What does this mean, brothers and sisters? A society that does not reform itself will never be successful. But the reform must start within us. Our emotions must not be limited to passive tears. Of course, tears are important for Abu Abdullah, and granted, each one of you will get massive rewards. But let us make these tears active tears. We must speak against the Yazidis of our time. We must be aware, and we must protest and express our solidarity with the oppressed people of Bahrain, Syria, Yemen, Pakistan, Iraq, and too many to count to even enumerate them here. The numbers of casualties are multiplying with time, and as I speak, we watch the oppressed leaders play the game of cat and mouse as they get their directives from the Zionistic so-called powers from above. Our vision must be clear, dear brothers and sisters, and not clouded. Let's recognize the root cause of corruption. I repeat, let's recognize the root cause of corruption and be amongst those who truly support and who become the supporters of Imam al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Farajahu al-Sharif. Not just by talk, but by action. With that, I would like to welcome Brother Mahdi Dardashtian to the podium so that he can share some beautiful words of poetry. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Labbaik, 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 ya Hussein. Labbaik, 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 ya Hussein. Labbaik, 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 ya Hussein.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alayka ya وعلى الأرض التي هلت بخناقك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together, brothers and sisters, السلام حسين وعلى حسین و علی اولاد حسین I call out to you, I call out to you my master, I call out to you, come take my hand faster, I call out to you, I don't think I'll last here, I call out to you, this was a disaster, I call out to you my master, I call out to you, I don't think I'll last here, come and take a look at me, see me for all I could be, these sins are holding me down, take me to Karbala now, Labbaik ya Hussein, raise your hands, show your hands to Imam al-Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik. Take my hand into yours, you're all that I need. They tell me you can give me all that I need, but I'm too shy to ask, you know what I need. Oh dear Hussein, you pulled me up again, every time I've fallen, you stitched me up again, every time I've broken, don't leave me hanging now, don't say you've forgotten, keep me close by your side, don't leave me to decide, this world is so deceiving, just take my hands, just take me and my love, take me to Karbala now, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, ya Shahid Imam Hussein, ya Wali Imam Hussein, ya Habib Imam Hussein, ya Ibn Ali Imam Hussein, we will pass, we will part, we won't quit and we won't stop, we will tell, we will teach, we'll inform and we will preach about that war, about that split, about that war, about that split, about that tragic incident, about the head that was caught, about the leader that wouldn't give up. We know what's his name, Imam Hussein, Ya Shaheed Imam Hussein, Ya Wali Imam Hussein, Ya Habib Imam Hussein, Ya Ibn Ali Imam Hussein, Ya Ibn Ali Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik. Better and louder. Labbaik ya MashaAllah. Inshallah, one day in Karbala you will shoot out Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein. Still our heart fills with pain every time we hear your name, and our fists clench with hate against the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. So the struggle continues on, and the victory won't be long. We must hold on to the cause and fear no one but Allah, our Lord, and fear no one but Allah, our Lord. Like a Shaheed Imam Hussein, Ya Wali Imam Hussein, Ya Shaheed Imam Hussein, Ya Habib Imam Hussein, Ya Ibn Ali Imam Hussein. Labbaika ya Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein. We have faith, we believe, we won't flinch and we won't leave. We will stay, we will fight, defending Islam with all of our might. Cause it's true, Quran won't lie. Paradise waits for those who die in the cause of Allah. Like Imam Hussein in Karbala, like Imam Hussein, Karbala. Ya Shaheed, we're with you, we won't die. Ya Shaheed, Ya Shaheed, we're with you, we won't run though our numbers are few. We have no fear, we won't pause, we won't stop this Islamic cause. This is dawn for Al-Islam. We'll move on till Al-Mahdi comes. Then we'll know who is right. Until that day we continue to fight. Ya Shaheed Imam Hussein, Ya Wali Imam Hussein, Ya Habib Imam Hussein, Ya Ibn Ali Imam Hussein. Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika
Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein. 14 centuries ago, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam uttered these words on the day of Ashura. هل من ناصر ينصرنا? Is there anyone who will come for our help? هل من مغيث يغيثنا? Is there anyone who will come and assist us? What is our answer to him today, brothers and sisters? لبيك يا حسين. لبيك يا حسين. لبيك يا حسين. لبيك يا حسين. Today, the son of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, the son of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, the Imam of our time, Ajalullah Farajahu Sharif, gives out the same cry. I ask you all, how many of us are truly ready to be the supporters of Imam al-Mahdi and to say, لبيك يا مهدي. 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 With this, I would like to welcome Brother Muhammad al-Hadi to recite just 2 minutes of words in English. In the meantime, just a quick announcement. Someone has dropped their keys. If you have lost your keys, please proceed to the front to retrieve it. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Labbaik ya Hussein,
لبيك يا حسين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today, alhamdulillah, we have come out in big numbers in commemorating the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Just that I have very limited time, and in that 2-3 minutes, I'm gonna just conclude my the few points from my speech. So first, what is Azadari? Azadari is the revival of true Islam. Azadari is the revival of the true deen, which Imam Hussein sacrificed his whole family for, to bring out the pure religion which was propagated by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. There are many lessons which can be learned from the Battle of Karbala, but I'm just going to share a few because of the limited time. The first is the importance of prayers. Even in the hot sun, and the burning sun, and the hot sand of Karbala, under the swords, arrows, and spears, Imam Hussein established his prayer as a jama'at. So what does that tell us? That we have no excuse not to pray the prayers which Imam Hussein al-Islam sacrificed his family for, and his whole family was there while the enemy's army attacked him while he prayed. The second lesson which we can learn from the Battle of Karbala is sabr and patience, meaning that when Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha was told by Yazid, look at what we have done to your family, then Bibi Zainab Salamullahi alayha said that I see nothing but beauty. What does that teach us? No matter what state of position we are, we have to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are no exceptions. If Bibi Zainab can say it in that time, we can say it now as well. The third is thankfulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever the mothers of the martyrs heard that their son had been martyred, they would go into sajda. They would say thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they asked that, oh Allah, please accept this sacrifice. So that teaches us we need to be thankful in every single case. Be it we have nothing or we have everything. And the last point we learned from Karbala, we learned many, but the last one I'm going to share is that we have to rise against injustice and immorality and oppression that is taking place globally. We have to be human, no matter if you're Shia, Sunni, Christian, Jewish. And as long as you are human, you have to stand up. You have to raise your voice to support the oppressed. You have to be like Imam Hussein, rise your voice against the enemies of Islam and raise your voice against the oppressors. There are two ways we can learn from Karbala. There is a path that goes to Kufa, and there is a path that goes to Karbala. The path of Kufa is safe. You go there, you will live the rest of your life in humility. You will be humiliated, but you will be safe. On the other hand, the path of Imam Hussein, under the swords, the spears, the arrows, the rocks, the hot sand of Karbala was there. He was thirsty for 3 days. He was hungry for 3 days. But when you go to Karbala, you know you will be martyred, you will die, but you will die with dignity. You will have a death with dignity. And if you agree with the ideology of Imam Hussein, of having death with dignity is better than life with humiliation, say with me, raise your hands. Hayhat minna zillah! Hayhat minna zillah! Hayhat minna zillah! Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad, for these beautiful words of reminders. So 3 reminders very important for us to keep in mind. It is narrated that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was asked, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, we are all arks of salvation, but the ark of my grandfather Al-Hussein is more spacious and moves faster in the choppy waters of the sea. كلنا سفن النجاة ولكن سفينة جد الحسين أوسع وفي لجج البحار أسرع. So let's all join the ark of Imam al-Hussein. Let's learn from his legacy of justice, his legacy of wisdom, peace, honor, and dignity, and his legacy of freedom. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam taught us the true meaning of freedom. Freedom does not mean to compromise one's values or to follow the masses. Imam al-Hussein's freedom is true liberation of one's carnal desires. The freedom to worship the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to thank Him for the bounties He has blessed us with. The freedom to follow the truth and to say no to falsehood. With that, I would like to welcome to the podium Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hali, who needs no introduction. For those of you who may not be aware, this is actually perfect timing. Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hali has just came out with a book that he has written called The Baqiyah Cemetery, Past, Present and Future. This just came out yesterday, I believe. Sheikh Muhammad Al-Hali has recited lectures throughout the country and worldwide. I personally have listened to him in the blessed land of Karbala. Very moving lectures, going into the haram of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. So with this, please welcome Sheikh Hali with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and the choicest of His salutations and His blessings upon His final and greatest of prophets, Ar-Rasul al-A'zam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And upon His pure, immaculate, error-free, sinless progeny, on the walk towards the city of freedom and sacrifice, on the magnificent demonstration of love and loyalty, the world's largest annual peaceful gathering, according to Washington Post and other independent and media outlets. A lady who was in her 70s was walking with a young child. She drew the attention of people. There are millions who are marching, but she was asked, why are you walking with a small child? She said, a few days ago, my son and his wife were walking, and whilst they were resting in separate tents on the way to the city of martyrs, they were blown to pieces by the enemies of God. When I heard this, I said, you will never stop our love for our Imam. I picked up their son, who is 4 years of age, and I am continuing their walk towards Karbala, because Hussein lives within me. You can tear our bodies apart, you will never separate us from our master Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. I ask you a question. Tell me of a man in history, 1400 years, that has moved and inspired and motivated and captivated and won the hearts and minds of people other than Hussein ibn Ali. Tell me a man who has been the inspiration of revolutions, inspiration for justice, who has been the name that trembles the hearts of oppressors and tyrants other than Hussein ibn Ali. Tell me of a name of a person whom people have not met, yet millions across the world congregate and walk towards his city and where he's buried. Tell me, other than the grandson of the Prophet, that around the world, in every corner, there are remembrance and there are sessions of mourning to recall his eternal stance and his legacy. Today, Hussein ibn Ali is one of the world's largest superpowers. And he will remain so, because his brave and courageous sister, Sayyida Zainab, said towards the tyrant of her time, فَقُدْ كَيْدَكْ وسع سعيك وناصب جهدك فوالله لا تمحو ذكرنا ولا تميت وحينا. No one can ever stop the eternal remembrance and the growing association and the love and loyalty with the ultimate sacrifice of what happened on the 10th of Muharram. The love that people have for Hussein, for his family and his companions is everywhere. I remember reading here in New York City, water was being distributed around in Manhattan. One policeman, one cop received the water bottle. It said on it, "Who is Hussein?" He went on Twitter, he tweeted, he said, "I have never heard of who Hussein is, but today I recognize he's a great man because he inspires so many people towards generosity." And today the world speaks the language of Hussein, which is what? Which is compassion, which is justice, which is freedom, which is the rights of people, and denounces what Imam alayhi salam stood to denounce: sectarianism, racism, bigotry, hatred, oppression and injustice, amongst many other vices that are learned from the 10th of Muharram. But I tell you this, and this is a message to everyone, each and every one of us that are here, and people who may hear about what the 10th of Muharram and what Ashura is all about. People ask, what is the secret of this man? Why has he moved so many people? No one's forced. No one out of all the people here today and who go to the majalis all around the world has been forced when it comes to the remembrance of Hussein. They love it. They come with enthusiasm. Every year they hear his story and they shed the tears and they beat their chest and they express grief and sorrow and mourning. Why? What is the secret of Hussein? The Prophet tells us the secret of Hussein. You see, the Prophet of Islam says in many narrations, "Man arada Allahu bihi khayra." Whomsoever Allah wants to have goodness, gives him knowledge of faith, for example, gives him good mannerism. But there is one hadith which says, "Man arada Allahu bihi al-khayr." Al-khayr. Whomsoever Allah wants to place in their hearts the essence of goodness. Al-khayr, the root of righteousness. قذف في قلبه حب الحسين وحب زيارته. Allah places in the hearts of those who seek righteousness the love of Hussein and the love of his ziyarah. When we remember Abu Abdullah, we are turned towards good deeds. We are turned towards righteousness. Abu Abdullah is the gateway towards the love of God. We remember him because we are getting closer to paradise and salvation and success in this world and the hereafter. When you remember Hussein and when you cry out his name, and 1400 years ago there was no one other than his family members who were around him, and he cried out, "Ala hal min nasirin yansuruna?" Is there anyone to help us? Today there are hundreds of millions of people around the world for 1400 years who respond to Hussein and say, "Labbayka ya Hussein." Labbayka ya Hussein. Labbayka ya Hussein. Labbayka ya Hussein. Labbayka ya Hussein. And our final message is this: Hussein lives with us. He will never be separated with us, from us. Every drop of blood, every small ounce of our existence cries Hussein. We will never separate from the love of this eternal individual, because the love of Hussein is the love of the Prophet, and the love of the Prophet and Hussein is the love of God, and the path of Hussein is the path of paradise. And Hussein today inspires us to stand against injustice. We denounce and strongly stand against all form of dhulm everywhere around the world. Our master is Hussein. Someone asked the question, who is Hussein? Someone replied, Hussein is sacrifice. I said more. They said Hussein is freedom. I said more. They said Hussein is liberation and human rights. I said it's more. They said Hussein is dignity, izzah. I said more. They said, what is Hussein? I said Hussein is Hussein, and that's it. That is what defines Abu Abdullah. And today, when we look at the oppression that is happening in Yemen, the innocent killing of civilians, mercilessly, brutally, when we see innocent civilians being killed in Myanmar, in Burma, when we see innocent civilians being torn into pieces in places like Afghanistan, or in Pakistan, or in Iraq, or in Syria, or in those places, or in Palestine. Our movement for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein moves us to stand against dhulm and oppression. Abu Abdullah says, Hayhat min al-dhillah. We will never succumb to humiliation. Our master is Hussein. Our encouragement and the drive behind our movement is what he sacrificed for. We are Husseini. We will remain Husseini. Everything about our lives will remain Husseini when we cry out and respond to Abu Abdullah, when we say, Labbaik ya Hussein.
Jazakallah, Shaykhna Kareem. Excellent speech. So many beautiful words in honor of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, indeed, as Shaykhna mentioned, he exemplifies all the beautiful characteristics and attributes that any human in this universe, not the earth, but the universe, can have in one person. That's Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And as Shaykhna mentioned, the killings that are happening abroad and everywhere. We have this Arabic saying, اقتلونا فإن شعبنا سيعي أكثر فأكثر. They want to kill us for the love of Imam al-Hussein. They want to kill us for the love of Ahl al-Bayt and for the values that they stand. That's not going to make us afraid. The lovers of Imam al-Hussein are not afraid of death. No, we look forward to meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to being in close proximity to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. But in fact, these killings that are happening globally, that's waking us up, urging us to wake us up and to stand with those who are oppressed and against the oppressors of our time. Just a quick announcement, inshallah, on October 6th, Saturday, October 6th at 8:30 p.m., there will be a majlis and a Shabidari program at Masjid Ali in Somerset, New Jersey. This is a Shabidari program, all-night mata. Come with your love and your tears for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and try to join us on that beautiful night, inshallah, at Masjid Ali in Somerset, New Jersey. And with that, I would like to welcome Shaykhna Asghar Shahidi to bless us with some enlightening words with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So it looks Shaykh is not here yet, so we'll go ahead and I'd like to introduce the next speaker, and he's definitely no stranger. I'd like to welcome to the stage Sayyid Mustafa Naqvi from the Jafari Association of North America. Sayyid Mustafa Naqvi is one of the original pioneers who helped establish Islamic traditions in North America. In 1982, he founded Jafari Association of North America. As an elected president of Jannah since 1984, he organized the first Muharram procession in the US, now the long-lasting running procession in the West and the largest Muslim parade in North America. Sayyid Mustafa, also the founder of Shahi Najaf Islamic Center in Long Island, New Jersey, Long Island, New York, and the largest Shia center in Long Island. He also played a pivotal role in funding and supplying medical aid to the Shias of Haiti and flood-ravaged Pakistan. Please welcome him with a light salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Before I start, I just want to everybody know the first procession was taken in 1986, and the brother Manzoor Bukhari was very pivotal, and he is the one actually moved all the New Yorker at that time to take out a procession. He died recently in Pakistan, and he was building a center in Atak, Pakistan, and he died just about a month ago. So I will request you to please Surah Fatiha, 3 times Surah Ikhlas for his soul. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the beauty of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. We just completed 32nd annual Muharram procession in New York. We are thankful to each and every participant, especially our young sisters who have little children. They carry them along and make this happen. We cannot function without the cooperation of each and every one of you, and now the volunteers are the backbone of this procession. We are also thankful to the New York Finest, New York Police Department for their security, for their cooperation, and for year after year, they bent backward to help us out. Especially Nick Lombardi, officer you see in the blue shirt, with tall fellow, and with him Chris Hems. And also the captain of this prison, 19th prison, Catherine Walker, she also helped us a lot to make this procession to be this way. We are also thankful to the Council General of Pakistan, Mr. Nizami, who is acting right now on the behalf of Raja Ali Ijaz. And this year, as you know, we already have services from the Permanent Mission of Pakistan. We thank Malia Lodi, Dr. Malia Lodi, and her secretary, Mushahid Masood, who gave us the permission to use the center. And also we thank the City of New York, especially the mayor, who helped us to organize such a magnificent event. Brothers and sisters, we are here today to celebrate the life of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Imam Hussain was the grandson of Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Great grandson of Abraham. He is the inheritor of Prophet Noah, Prophet Adam, Prophet Moses, and Prophet Jesus. His character reflects all the characteristics of these prophets in him. But what he did, he came in the battle of Karbala, in the desert of Karbala. In those times when the battle was scared, when there was traveling was difficult, he took a journey from Medina to Makkah, from Makkah to Karbala. For what? For defending the human rights, dignity of a human, and dignity of a mankind. And his message was to us that no matter where we live, every day is Karbala. Every day is Ashura. Every land is Karbala. Is it easy for us to say right now, Yazid Murdabad? Yes, he's Murdabad, he's dead now. What difference does it make it to us? He's nailed to the ground. If there's something about him, it doesn't matter really. The matter is, Imam Hussein's teaching was very simple. Teaching was to raise the voice against the oppressor of the time. Yazid was the tyrant of this time. It was the biggest government in the history of that time. Bigger than the Europeans, bigger than Roman Empire. And what Imam Hussain did, 72 people come with him, and he fought for what? For the dignity of humankind, for self-determination. Imam Hussain gave us when he about to be murdered, he gave us a Mahal bin Nasr Yunsarna. What is that? It's not for him, he's already been martyred. But it's for us, those who coming after him, 1400 years ago, or today or tomorrow, in the future, wherever the oppression is there, if we are Hussaini, if we really belong to Imam Hussain, we belong to Prophet Muhammad, we belong to prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we must raise our voice for the oppression of the time. Today we look in the Muslim world, what is happening there? We're not blaming anybody else but Muslims themselves anyway. But the providing them, how can anyone go into the country using the weapons which have been provided by those who are selling them on the money and killing our brothers and sisters in the countries? Right now, Yemen is like a Karbala. In Yemen, the people have nothing to defend themselves, and they have been provided with the most sophisticated machinery in the world. Who is them who are doing all this? Go into Libya. What happened to Libya? Libya was destroyed and finished. Go into Iraq. If you have been in Iraq right now, look at Iraq, what happened to Iraq. Iraq is pushed back at least 200 years back. People are starving there right now. Still they're starving there. All the basic structure of this country is attacked first, which is prohibited in the United Nations mission. They should not be attacked. But what they do, they come and attack the special places where there is you can get any kind of benefit for the humankind. Go and look at Afghanistan right now. Go and look at Pakistan right now. I cannot believe how the world look at it. You make ISIC 5 years ago, and then 10 years ago you want to dismantle them. Who's the one who provided them the arms? Who's the one who provided the money? So brothers and sisters, the message of Imam Hussain is very clear. The message is to raise your voice against the pressure of the time. If we are afraid, especially living in this country, nothing wrong. We should obey the laws of this country. We should live like American. We are American. We are by choice American. We come here, we leave our homes back here, come here. But it does not mean that we should not protect. We should not protect those who are being oppressed by this country. Criticism is healthy. It's a fight for democracy to get them correctly. We are not against America. We're not against American people. We're not against anyone. But we are against the policies which are there to just single out a nation. What we see right now, there is an agreement made between all the Western countries. And one country comes in and take out its signatories and say, I'm not going to support this. And what they did right now, they did not put any bomb in there, but they're killing them with what? With the economic sanctions and all that now. We are against that. We should be protected. This is the message Imam Hussain to me. Maybe you may differ. It's okay. But the problem is, Imam Hussain gave his life. What does it make a difference? Some people they were reading prayers, they were fasting, they were doing Hajj. Imam Hussain was doing Hajj, and he converted Hajj to go to Karbala. What was wrong then with that? Something was wrong, something was missing, and that missing was that Imam Hussain cannot allow despotism to be there. Imam Hussain fought the war with little people, with some small group, but the impact is such. We see right now from here, this is New York, everybody is busy. But going to Karbala, going to Ashura today, and going to Arba'in, and you will see how many people are coming to the Sari Imam Hussain. This is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you give me your life for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will defend your life forever. Don't you see, you're going to Makkah. Just now people came from Hajj. They're going into Khana Kaaba. They're going to celebrate 7 times to go around it. But what they don't know, they're going around the grave of the Hajra, because she's the one who took care of Ismail. So important for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that it is the most important. Allah has defended himself. Allah defend those who defend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me end with, because time is short, we don't have much time. The philosophers, the thinkers, Allama Iqbal, all that, you will see his poetry about Imam Hussain. But I will say one thing. There's one poetry written by Ibn Sharif. Shah Ast Hussain, Badshah Ast Hussain, Deen Ast Hussain, Deen Bana Ast Hussain, Haqqa ke binaye, La ilaha Ast Hussain, Tardad Nandad Tardast Yazid, Haqqa ke binaye, La ilaha Ast Hussain. Imam Hussain is the base of La ilaha illallah. Those of us who read about Imam Hussain, even his Gandhi read, or even a Christian read, even a Jewish read, they'll read about the Imam Hussain and Today, the message of the Muslims is this: if you follow the path of Ahlul Bayt, Either Imam Hussein we will be very, very successful and we will be respected all over the world. Last sentence of Imam Hussein was this. Somebody asked Imam Hussein, why aren't you going to in Karbala? Why are you sacrificing? You know what the reply was? I'm sacrificing for the Ummah, because this Ummah is in deep sleep and they need my blood to wake them up. And that's what happened after Karbala. There was no one there who asked quiet for anyone after that. We, again, if we want to follow Imam Hussein, we should follow his principles, and that will live forever. Thank you very much.
نعرة تكبير الله أكبر نعرة رسالة يا رسول الله نعرة هاجري يا علي
لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين
لبيك يا حسين
louder لبيك يا حسين
لبيك يا حسين
جزاك الله سيدنا. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Sayyidina mentioned, promises those who strive in the way of Allah, in upholding the true values of Islam and implementing the message of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, that He will make them victorious. Look at where Ali ibn Abi Talib is today. And look at where Muawiyah is. No one even knows where his grave is. Look at where Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is today. And look at where Yazid, La'natullah alayhi, is. No one even knows where his grave is today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, وَلْيَنْصُرَنَّ اللَّهَ مَنْ يَنْصُرُ. Indeed, Allah will make victorious those who work towards victory and who support the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. With that said, I would like to make a couple of announcements. First off, there's going to be the 24th annual Yomi Zainab approaching at Zainabiyya, New Jersey on Sunday, October 7th at about 2 p.m. So please watch out for the flyers. In addition, Arba'een al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, also very soon approaching. And as done with every year, we will have our annual Julus. The Shehla procession will be on Sunday, October 28th. The Julus, the Shehla procession will be on Sunday, October 28th at 11 a.m. And the location will be Franklin Avenue between Main Street and Sowell Street. لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين. And just to conclude with some words of poetry, I would like to welcome Muhammad Sajjad to the stage so he can enlighten us. Salla ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawatu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, I'll recite a few lines of poetry speaking on all the things that mourn Imam Hussein from the sand of Karbala to the Euphrates. Please recite aloud, Salawatu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I hail from the deserts of Karbala. I'm only a grain of sand. The blood that I've been stained with has made my value grand. On that truth-forsaken day on which Hussein had his last stand, I have carried a burden all my days, I swear by Abbas's head. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I hail from the deserts of Karbala. I'm only a grain of sand. The blood that I've been stained with has made my value grand. On that truth-forsaken day on which Hussein had his last stand, I have carried a burden all my days, I swear by Abbas's head. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I'm that wind that blew beside Hussein. Oh, what more shall I say? In the night I cried and howled from all the sadness of that day. Oh, I saw the body of Imam Hussein lie on the river's banks. Since then I've traveled the 7 seas to share the story of Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I'm the sun that rose on Ashura. I wish I never came. I turn darkness into light. I carry all the blame. If I'd never shown my light, baby, I'd never see them slain. But Abbas and Hussein were waiting for dawn so they could pray. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I'm the star that twinkled in the night when darkness did prevail. Until now I've only seen Muhammad's women veil. But tonight I saw them snatch it off. They've taken Zainab's scar. I've been burning hot with anger ever since. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I'm the fire that was forced upon to set the tents ablaze. Oh, they used me against the Ahlul Bayt to scare them in a craze. I've been waiting for my redemption, oh my Lord, by your will. I'll burn them in the afterlife, I'll burn them all in hell. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I'm that river filled with the water that flows free. And if only I had legs, I'd run to Hussein ibn Ali. Please forgive me, I tried to reach him as he lied beside my bank. If only I had flooded, maybe then they'd be safe. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. Ya Allah, Allah, everything mourns Hussein. I hail from the deserts of Karbala. I'm only a grain of sand. The blood that I've been stained with has made my value grand. On that truth-forsaken day on which Hussein had his last stand, I have carried a burden all my days. I swear by Abbas's hand. Salawatu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad, so much for these beautiful words of poetry. And as we now approach the conclusion of our program, dear brothers and sisters, I would like to say that although these mournful days of Muharram, our hearts should be preparing for yet another opportunity to change ourselves. Another opportunity to become better and to become what we have been meant to become. These sad days of Muharram, as we shed tears for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, let it be not just tears, but change, an opportunity for change. Each one of us, we have the potential, بحق al-Hussein alayhi salam. The real reason why Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam rose up against Yazid so many years ago was to awaken the hearts of the believers to the reality of the religion and to show them how far they had fallen. Let us not be amongst those who fill our days chasing after the trinkets and toys of this dunya. The question that remains, brothers and sisters, is will we be awakened by the call of Imam al-Hussein in the coming days? And will we be dedicating our lives for the sake of Imam al-Mahdi Ajallahu Farajahu Sharif? Or will we fill our days with empty rituals and a few token sermons to make ourselves feel as if we were doing something? What is your answer, brothers and sisters? لبيك يا حسين! لبيك يا حسين! Louder! لبيك يا حسين! The choice is yours. Just like it was for Muslims who lived 1400 years ago. Just like it was for Hazrat Hur, when he made a split decision in a moment and turned his life 360 degrees. From hell to heaven, in 1 second, he made the decision. Let us follow the path of Hur and also revisit what we are doing in our daily lives. Let us strive for taqwa. And inshallah, we'll be true lovers of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. With this, brothers and sisters, I would like to conclude our program, first and foremost, by extending our sincere gratitude to the organizers in helping to plan this julus for the love of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, Sayyid Estefan Naqvi, and all the speakers and contributors today on this stage. In addition, I would like to thank the NYPD police for being there for us all throughout the day. And all the volunteers, we must not forget the volunteers who participated tirelessly and contributed to raising the banner of Abdullah. And last but not least, all of you who came out from far and from near to raise the banner of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. لبيك يا حسين! لبيك يا حسين! لبيك يا حسين! We pray that the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you in this world and the hereafter. May Allah raise us on the day of judgment with Imam al-Hussein and Ashab al-Hussein, and make us from the supporters of Fatima al-Zahra and Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam, and make us amongst the steadfast on his path. Until death do us apart, it is always going to be لبيك يا حسين! لبيك يا حسين! لبيك يا حسين! Thank you so much. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
You want to do it? Go ahead.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا حسين بن علي الشهيد بكربلاء، السلام عليك